In 7 years, you can have 2 bad knees and $2,000 in the bank account, or your business can be worth $1 million. Like, literally, it's that easy. Just think about it and start applying the strategies to get you there. Hey friends, Alan Lee here with Honestly Handyman Services, and I got a question. What is the point? What's the point of your handyman business? What's the point of my handyman business? This is a great question. Have you stopped to ask yourself that? Because if you're like me, I bet when you started up your handyman business, it was because you didn't want to work for someone else. That was the main reason. When I first started up my business, that was the sole reason. I didn't want to work for anyone else, and I also liked the money that I made being a handyman. But a few years into it, I started thinking to myself, I'm like, what's the point of this? I mean, I'm working more hours. Yeah, I'm making more money, but I'm working more hours. I got all the headache of running a business, and I got all this overhead and all this expense and stress too, and I'm constantly working, right? So it begs the question of what's the point of it all? What's the point? So I've recently been reading a book called The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, and if you haven't read this book, I would highly recommend you read it. It is a phenomenal book. Really just changes the whole mindset of running a business and operating a business. Like, I was just blown away. It really goes into that most people, they start a business just for that, like I said before, was that they don't want to work for someone else. They want to be in charge of their destiny. They want to do what they want to do. And they want to make how much they want to make, which is those are all great things to strive for. But at the end of the day, what more are you doing? I mean, there are some people that say that the handyman business is not an actual business because we're just the sole proprietor working out there, making our own money. We don't have a 401k. We don't have a big business. We don't have anything like that. Yeah, it's like that if you want it to be that way. But for me, I want my business to be much bigger than that, to be much more than that. I have a vision for my business that branches way beyond just myself and the work that I could do. And I would challenge you guys to think about that in your own terms. What does your business look like not only today, but 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road? What does it look like when you're looking to retire, when you're almost 65? What's it going to look like, right? I mean, are you not going to be able to retire because you only have, $2,000 in the bank account and that's it because you've made all this money, but yet you've spent it? These are really important questions to ask yourself, and something that I really started pondering a couple months ago is, what is the point of running your own business? I mean, you can go get a good job and make just as much, if not more money, and have a whole lot stress and a whole lot less responsibility. I mean, you could definitely do that. The reason and the vision for me is to be my own boss, to make what I want to make my own hours, and also provide that for anyone else that wants to join my team. So, Michael Gerber in the book, The E-Myth Revisited, states that the only purpose for a business is to sell it or to franchise it, right? If you think about this in terms of everything else in this world, everything has a start, a beginning, and an end, right? Everything is born and then everything dies, right? There's a beginning and there's an end to everything. There's a start to a stop. There's a start and there's a stop to everything, right? Why do we think it's different when we think about business? Business is the exact same way. If you don't have a goal, if you don't have a finish point, you're never going to be done with your business, and you're going to end up old and broke. Like, you're going to end up with no money, absolutely no money when you're old because you didn't have a vision, you didn't have a plan, you didn't have an end point, right? Some people call it an exit strategy of their business. You could call it whatever you want, but the only point of a business is to sell it or to franchise it. So that begs the question of, what does your business look like when it's all done? At the end point of your business, what does it look like? What does it even look like to have an end point of your business, right? That makes you think way beyond yourself and the work that you are currently doing in the business right now. Because to have an end point, you have to see something that isn't already here, right? And in the E-Myth Revisited, that talks about awakening the entrepreneur inside of you. Oftentimes we operate out of the technician side of us, which says, I don't want to be my own, I don't want to be controlled by a boss. I want to be my own boss. and I want to do the work that needs to be done right now so that I can make a paycheck. Well, the entrepreneur sees it, how can my business produce a product so we can not only pay our employees and the technicians, but also make a profit for future growth. That's the difference between thinking as an entrepreneur to thinking as a technician. So it's very important to wrap your mind around that and really figure out what your business looks like. Like in 7 years, for instance, is your business, when it's done in 7 years, is it going to be worth $500,000? Is it going to be worth $1 million? Is it going to be worth $7 million? Like, these are amazing figures to think about, right? Like, we're no longer just our own boss, and we're no longer not working for someone. We're no longer just paying our bills. We now have the ability to create a vision for our business where we can actually make like $7 million in 7 years. Like, if we want to, you can, here in America, you can change the whole fabric of who you are and the way that you run business by just a single thought. I was watching this show the other day. It was called America: The Story of Us. Great show. And they were talking about Sears, the guy from the Sears company. It's actually going under right now, but anyways, that's lack of good management, but whatever. But back in the day, the railroad was going through, and the whole United States was on like 5,000 different time zones. There was no set time zone, so scheduling trains was very difficult. So the United States government came up with the idea to create 4 different time zones across the U.S. And Sears, the guy, he had an amazing idea. He just bought a whole bunch of pocket watches, set them to the appropriate time, and started selling them to the guys running the railroad. Like, and so he saw a huge demand, and he had the supply for that. And then that birthed into creating a 700-page catalog, sending that over the U.S. That is what I call a vision, guys. Like, he could have just, bought a few pocket watches, sold them, made the quick buck, and then gone on with his life, because he's not having to work for anyone. He made so much money on just those pocket watches alone, right? But then he went and turned that into the whole Sears that we know today, or that we knew 5 years ago before it's kind of going under. But that's the whole idea of having a vision and creating and letting the entrepreneurial side of you out, basically. So I would highly recommend you check out the E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. Absolutely phenomenal book. Changed the whole course of how I'm doing business, and it'll probably do the same for you. So super exciting. So I would challenge you, just think about, what's the point? When you're 65, do you want to be old and broke and maybe some bad knees? I mean, what are you going to get out of your business, right? In 7 years, think of it. In 7 years, you can have 2 bad knees and $2,000 in the bank account, or your business can be worth $1 million. Like, literally, it's that easy. Just think about it and start applying the strategies to get you there. Now, I know this sounds crazy by just hearing this right on YouTube, but start applying it. Start applying it. Absolutely amazing. I'm still in progress. I'm not saying that I figured this out by any means. I am still on this journey. I want to share with you guys about this journey of, like, what's the point? What's the point of running your business? So just wanted to share that with you. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel for more awesome handyman content, and leave me a comment in the comment section below. Anyways, thank you all so much for tuning in, and just remember, what's the point? What are you going to do?